OneTaste trial, orgasmic meditation, empowerment or forced labor. The trial began May 6th in Brooklyn, New York. Nicole Daedone and Rachel Cherwitz stand accused of forced labor conspiracy. The central question: did they manipulate vulnerable women into exploitative situations under the guise of empowerment? Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The charges are severe, revolving around forced labor conspiracy. Prosecutors allege the defendants forced employees to work for minimal wages. These employees were also allegedly required to live in communal housing and engage in sexual acts with investors. Beyond forced labor, allegations of abuse paint a disturbing picture. Economic, sexual, emotional, and psychological abuse are all leveled against Daedone and Cherwitz. The prosecution claims the women subjected their followers to surveillance, indoctrination, and intimidation. The prosecution's case hinges on the alleged exploitation of vulnerable individuals. They argue that OneTaste specifically targeted survivors of sexual trauma. The company also allegedly lured individuals seeking personal growth only to leave them as shells of their former selves. The prosecution aims to demonstrate the defendants' motives. They will argue that Daedone and Cherwitz sought power, prestige, and financial gain through their actions. The alleged exploitation was a means to these ends. The defense vehemently denies any coercion. They maintain that no one was forced to participate in any activities. All actions, they argue, were consensual. The defense frames OneTaste as a vehicle for female empowerment. Daedone's attorney argues that the accusations are a misinterpretation of adult choices. They claim that alleged victims now regret their choices and falsely claim coercion. Daedone herself maintains her innocence. She claims the accusations are a media-driven narrative, stitched together with sensationalism. She insists that OneTaste was always about empowerment, consent, and healing. Nicole Daedone founded OneTaste in 2004 in San Francisco. The company purported to promote female empowerment by focusing on sexual pleasure. It was marketed as a scientific-based practice with proven benefits, involving sexual stimulation, a yoga with a twist. OneTaste generated revenue through courses, coaching, and events. It offered wellness practices in exchange for a fee. The company operated in New York City, San Francisco, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Austin, and London. OneTaste attracted a celebrity following, including figures like Gwyneth Paltrow and Khloe Kardashian. Daedone sold OneTaste in 2017 for a reported $12 million. This sale raises questions about her motivations and the company's true purpose. The interpretation of consent is a central point of contention. Were the activities truly consensual, or were they the result of coercion and manipulation? The trial will delve into the nuances of consent within the context of OneTaste's practices. The extent of control exerted by Daedone and Cherwitz is also under scrutiny. Did company practices cross the line into exploitation? The prosecution will argue that the level of control was excessive and indicative of forced labor. The withholding of pay is another key issue. Employees were allegedly offered very little compensation to cook, clean, and garden. This allegedly forced them into debt, making them more dependent on OneTaste. The alleged manipulation of employees into performing sex acts is perhaps the most disturbing allegation. Prosecutors claim Daedone and Cherwitz manipulated women into performing sex acts on investors and clients. This will be a critical point of contention in the trial. The trial's outcome will determine whether the founders are held accountable for the alleged abuses. The jury will have to weigh the evidence and decide whether the prosecution has proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense's claims of consensual choices and empowerment will be put to the test. If convicted, Daedone and Cherwitz face up to 20 years in prison. The severity of the potential sentence reflects the gravity of the charges. The trial's outcome will have significant implications for the future of similar organizations and the understanding of consent and exploitation.